Welcome again, children. I hope you have a register and a pen to take down important notes. In this video, which is part 2 of day 4, we will continue with our second lesson. In the first part of today's video, we looked at the concept of self. In part 2, we will be looking at the concept of personality. For a common person or a lay person, personality generally refers to the physical or external appearance of an individual. For example, if we see someone who is good looking, we say that this person has a good personality. However, the psychological concept of personality is not so. In psychological terms, personality refers to our characteristic ways of responding to individuals and situations. People can easily describe the way in which they respond to various situations. Some catchwords like shy, sensitive, quiet are often used to describe personalities. These words refer to different components of personalities. In this sense, personality refers to unique and relatively stable qualities that characterize an individual's behavior across different situations over a period of time. So, personality is characterized by the following features. It has both physical and psychological components. Its expression in terms of behavior is fairly unique in a given individual. Its main features do not easily change with time. It is also dynamic in the sense that some of its features may change due to internal or external situational demands. Thus, personality is also adaptive to situations. Psychologists interested in the study of personality try to answer certain questions about the nature and origin of individual differences in personality. When we observe different people, we see that not only do they look physically different, but they also behave differently in different situations. These observations often generate curiosity and they force us to ask, why is it that some people react differently in a given situation than others do? A number of approaches and theories have been developed to understand and explain behavioral differences among individuals and behavioral consistencies within an individual. These theories are based on different models of human behavior. Each throws light on some but not all aspects of personality. They are the type approach, the trait approach, and the interactional approach. The type approaches attempt to comprehend human personality by examining certain broad patterns in the observed behavioral characteristics of individuals. Each behavioral pattern refers to one type in which individuals are placed in terms of the similarity of their behavioral characteristics with that pattern. Efforts to categorize people into personality types have been made since ancient times. So, one of the first type approaches, or one of the first attempts, was made by the Greek physician Hippocrates. He proposed a typology of personality based on fluid or humor. He classified people into four types: sanguine, phlegmatic, melancholic, and choleric, each characterized by specific behavioral features. The choleric kind of personality are those determined, quick to act, fiery, energetic, and passionate. The sanguine personality types are warm hearted, outgoing, volatile, optimistic, and cheerful. The phlegmatic personality type are slow, patient, calm, quiet, shy, rational, and consistent. The melancholic personality types are serious, anxious, quiet, fearful, poetic, artistic, and sad. In India also, Charak Samhita, a famous treatise on Ayurveda, classifies people into categories of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha on the basis of three humoral elements called Tridosha. Each refers to a type of temperament called Prakriti or basic nature of a person. Apart from this, there is also a typology of personality based on the three gunas, that is, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The Sattva guna includes attributes like cleanliness, truthfulness, dutifulness, detachment, discipline, etc. The Rajas guna includes intensive activity, desire for sense gratification, dissatisfaction, envy for others, and a materialistic mentality. Tamas guna characterizes anger, arrogance, depression, laziness, feelings of helplessness, etc. All the three gunas are present in each and every person in different degrees. The dominance of one or the other guna may lead to a particular type of behavior. Within psychology, the personality types given by Sheldon are fairly well known. Using body build and temperament as the main basis, Sheldon proposed the endomorphic, mesomorphic, and ectomorphic typology. The endomorphs are fat, soft, and round. By temperament, they are relaxed and sociable. The mesomorphs have strong musculature, are rectangular with a strong body build. They are energetic and courageous. The ectomorphs are thin, long, and fragile in body build. They are brainy, artistic, and introverted in temperament. Let us remember that these typologies or body types are simple and have limited use in predicting behavior of individuals. They are more like stereotypes which people hold. Jung has proposed another important typology by grouping people into introverts and extroverts. According to this typology, introverts are people who prefer to be alone, tend to avoid others, withdraw themselves in the face of emotional conflicts, and are shy. Extroverts, on the other hand, are sociable, outgoing, drawn to occupations that allow dealing directly with people, and react to stress by trying to lose themselves among people and social activity. In recent years, Friedman and Rosenman have classified individuals into type A and type B personalities. The two researchers were trying to identify psychosocial risk factors when they discovered these types. People with type A personality seem to possess high motivation, they lack patience, feel short of time, they are in a hurry, and feel like being always burdened with work. They find it difficult to slow down and relax. They are also more susceptible to problems like hypertension, coronary heart disease, and the risk of developing coronary heart disease with type A is sometimes even greater than risks caused by high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels, or smoking. Opposite to this is the type B personality, which can be understood as the absence of type A traits. This typology has further been extended, and Morris has suggested a type C personality. This personality is prone to cancer. Individuals characterized by this personality are cooperative, unassertive, and patient. They suppress their negative emotions and show compliance to authority. More recently, A type D personality has been suggested. This personality is characterized by a pessimistic outlook and is also prone to depression. We must remember that personality typologies are usually very appealing, but they are too simplistic. We must remember that human behavior is highly complex and variable. Assigning people to a particular personality type is difficult. Also, people do not fit into such simple categorization schemes so neatly. With that, we'll end our lesson for day 4. Let's do a recap and see what we've learned so far. In day 4, we started a new chapter, that is self and personality. We talked about different kinds and aspects of self. We covered self as an object and self as a subject. We covered different cognitive and behavioral aspects of self. We also talked about the relationship between culture and self. Then, in part 2 of day 4's video, we started with personality. We talked about what personality is, its different features, and how different psychologists use different approaches and theories to understand and explain behavioral differences among people. We have looked at 3 approaches: the type, trait, and interactional approach. In part 2 of day 4's video, we have specifically looked at different theories under the type approach. Let us do some questions for review of the chapter so far. The dash personality type is prone to depression. The answer to this is type D. Define personality. Differentiate between the Western and the Indian views of self. You will find the answer to this under the topic Culture and Self. Briefly write about the psychological techniques of self-control. The answer to this can be found under the topic of self-regulation. Lastly, how can self-efficacy be developed? Take a few minutes to complete these questions, as this will help in better recall of concepts. Let's do a few more questions so that we remember what we learned well. Distinguish between the personal and social self. What is self-esteem? When do children develop low self-esteem? For this answer, you can refer to the studies done from which we find out how children develop low self-esteem. The 8th question, give few features of personality. The 9th question, write briefly about personality types given by Sheldon. Here you will be writing about the endomorphic, ectomorphic, and mesomorphic types. Lastly, what are the drawbacks of the type approach? Thank you for listening, children. I hope you have noted down the questions and will review it before the next day's lesson.